He got up and brought me over a little card. She sells miniature cars or something. And I autographed, sent a little nice message to her mother, and then the waitress came over.
And tinkled.
Very nice. She tinkled, said that my show was a panic, and it was just great.
Panic?
Panic.
Yeah.
That prompted Neil Rogers, the seldom-reticent WINZ talk show host, to ridicule the Herald during his 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. radio show. He claimed that running a Spanish-language ad insulted English-speaking readers. Throughout the day, subscribers called the paper to complain. The phone has been ringing off the hook, said Jim Curro, the newspaper's vice president of advertising. But he explained it was partly a mistake.
Oh.
It was a mistake, all right. Yeah, you bet.
Yeah.
Buying the paper in the first place is your first mistake. Creative Ideas Advertising of Coral Gables, the Desert Inn's ad agency, wanted to run the ad in two of the Herald's neighbors sections that reach predominantly Hispanic readers. But the Herald pulled the ad because it did not contain a disclaimer saying an English translation was available. You want more?
Yeah.
Okay. The ad agency complained to assuage the agency. Boy, there is a good word, huh? Ooh, that's one of Daffy's favorites. That's as in rubbing the right way. The Herald agreed to run the ad with a disclaimer in the front section of the paper. In other words, to pacify the agency. See, what a lame excuse that is.
I never saw a disclaimer.
That, Curro says, was the mistake.
Yeah.
The Herald has a policy that allows advertisers to run ads in Spanish without a translation. All other foreign language ads require English translations, Curro said. The ad agency says it wasn't trying to offend or discriminate against anyone. We wanted to get the attention of the... Oh, man, this is it. Boy, a little louder this time. Wait till you hear the last paragraph. The last one is the killer, okay? Boy, I'm telling you, I wish they had their offices open today. We could get 6,000 Herald subscriptions canceled in the first hour today. We wanted to get the attention of the Anglos who would ask their Hispanic neighbors or friends, what does this mean? Said Maritza Gutierrez, Creative Ideas. Oh, end of quote from the lame Miami Herald. I'm going to tell you, folks, if you don't cancel this rag next week, I'm never speaking to you again. What a disgrace. Is that incredible? I mean, what a lame excuse, too, huh?
See, they listen to you. They know all about you at the Herald. I tell you.
The phone was ringing off the hook.
You bet.
People were pissed.
All right, did I tell you my Herald story?
Oh, you got one?
It's very brief.
Well, let me do the break first, okay?
All right.
We'd like to do our breaks a little early.
Why?
Because I cross them off early. I just get, I get nervous, you know. So I cross, like, into the next couple of hours I cross them off, and then Kyle is desperate to catch up. It's 28 before 11. What a story, huh? What a paper. What a town.
What a town.
See. Buenos dias. Let's do a break. We'll be right back.
Hey, Craig, here's the weather for Homestead.
I'll tell you my Ann Bishop imitation.
Is there such a thing?
I'm going to get Tom Gallagher back in here to do his Ann Bishop imitation. Only Tom can speak that low. I like Ann. She's good. She get rid of those matronly sweaters, though.
So before
she wears the sweater that is mated to Jim Harper's burgundy sweater. You know, the man has been here for 30 years at this radio station. He has never taken the sweater off, much less cleaned it.
Now that's
never takes it off.
That's a true story.
Yeah.
It is true.
That's why he buys coffee at McDonald's in the morning in the drive-thru. They won't let him go inside any place. He just goes through the drive-thru.
He does. He buys coffee every morning at McDonald's.
Ooh, look at this. He once wore a blue one. Once.
Yeah, one day.
Only Gloria Brown knows when that was.
Oh. So before we get back to the story...
How you doing, Gloria?
...about the restaurant, I want to tell you my Herald story quickly. I had to call the Herald last week.
Do you realize it's 21 before 11 already? We've almost killed this whole first hour.
And
we're just getting going. We're just warming the audience up here today.
I've been here since 6, and I'm not going yet. You know, I'm not getting going yet. But anyway.
Is that a threat? Look at that, man. The phones are just going crazy.
I can't imagine what's on their mind.
Here's the weather for North Miami Beach. Mostly cloudy.
I had to put a...
The expression was weather fairy. Go ahead.
The weather fairy?
He was dressed up as an elf during this thing before Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah. And he referred to himself as the weather fairy.
You
and I just repeated that on the air, and he won't. He just will not come near this building anymore.
Boy. There used to be a character called the Weather Fairy on Budel's show.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
No.
Who? Whose show?
Greg Budel's show. Used to have the Weather Fairy.
Don't say that. Jim Kelly is probably listening and will be very upset.
He will not.
Yes, he will. With good reason. How do you feel, Greg, taking a guy's job after 10 years?
Yeah.
Hang your head in shame.
Jim probably is listening.
I mean, it's not like Alan Burke. Alan was loaded anyway, right? I mean, Jim's out there getting food stamps today.
You know, in fact, Jim gave a quote to Linda Thornton that she did use in her story yesterday.
Let's hear it.
And the quote was...
This is our Yenta, folks.
Yeah.
He's got all the gossip.
Linda asked Jim if he had any immediate plans. And Jim told Linda Thornton...
None that we could print in the paper.
No, Jim told Linda Thornton that his immediate plan was to get up in the morning, make himself a cup of coffee, go down and sit in the jacuzzi and listen to the Neil Rogers show.
Great. I always liked Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
No, he does listen to this show.
He absolutely loves this show,
Yeah.
and I did Jim's news on the air for about 6-8 years, and he's a real good guy, and I really enjoyed working with him. And
you did Jim on the air?
No, I worked with him. I did his news.
Oh, I see.
And stuff like that. And I wish him all the best, and I think he'll be fine. Anyway... I do!
I mean, the way you just brush a guy off like that, you know, like he was like a fly on your nose or something,
No.
I think he'll be fine. I'm moving right along, you know.
Not at all. What else
the
can I
guy's
say?
out on the beach. We need to take up a collection, do something for the guy. Boy, the way these radio stations just jerk people around, man, it's disgusting.
Don't buy a house.
Destroy their life. Don't buy a house.
Jim, I'm glad you didn't buy a house.
That's the one thing they tell you when they hire you in this business. They say, they look you in the eye and they say, don't buy a house. And when the first book comes out, they look you in the eye and they say, don't unpack. You know, whatever that means.
Well, luckily, Kelly's been in this business long enough to know not to buy a house, so he didn't buy one, so anyway.
Look at Bill Calder. He bought 2 houses.
He got more nerve than I do.
Yes, he does. That's for sure.
I called the Herald.
Bill hasn't cashed a ticket in so long. I don't know if he's awake now this early. Yeah, he's probably getting ready to go to Gulfstream. It's raining. And I guarantee you, Calder's getting ready to plunge his guts out today. He hasn't cashed a ticket. I can't remember when he cashed. I'm serious. I cannot remember when Calder last cashed a ticket. And I'm not joking about that either. He is O for Gulfstream. He keeps saying that.
O for Gulfstream.
Yeah, for the whole meeting. And they've been, you know, they run like 50 days. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Especially when you're there every day. No, he's missed a couple days.
Kidding. What happened?
I couldn't afford it.
So, anyway.
You notice we've almost got to the end of the hour. We still haven't heard your Herald story, and we're not even close to the restaurant on Griffin Road. That's light years away. See, this is the kind of show I like. These pain-in-the-ass callers, you know? Give it a rest.
No, I know.
Oh, those Cubans!
You know, they want to get all hysterical. I'll get hysterical about it, okay? I can get hysterical.
No, I know you're...
Because I happen to like a lot of the Cubans.
You're very pleased. This is your favorite kind of show. Favorite kind of first hour.
You bet.
I'm leaving you.
Wait till the next hour.
Yeah,
No, you're not going anywhere. I got news for you. I'm leaving. I think it's damn time that they gave me a holiday. Let's see, all the people that want Glenn to stay and me to leave. Look at that. 6
They
of them
were already
flashing.
ringing.
Well, okay. Don't be picky.
Okay.
We can get that other Broward line flashing real quick, I'm telling you. I'm out of here, as they say in the soaps. Why do people today, you know, young people always come up with these ridiculous, at least to me they're ridiculous, because I'm an old fart, okay?
Right.
I'm out of here. Boy, that expression just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And you know who started that? Bo on the Days of Our Lives.
Oh, no.
That mung face. He started that. I'm out of here. I'm telling you, he started it years ago before anybody else was even saying it.
It's like party down. It's another...
Oh,
I hate
gee,
that.
that drives me nuts.
Party down.
What does that mean?
Party hardy.
Party down.
We're going to party hardy. That's a big
Talk
thing.
about mindless people who will just...
Yeah.
That's the thing that bugs me. People are such sheep. Some moron will come up with a ridiculous... Oh, that's true. It might have been Stevie Cawthon who started saying, you know.
Yeah.
Do you remember Daffy doing that show, talking
Yeah.
about Stevie Cawthon was responsible for young people saying, you know? You talk about inanity. I mean, that show on a scale of 0, that had to be... I'm glad you brought that up, Kyle, because that, I'm telling you, that kind of epitomized the whole Taffy McCallum show for me. That was it. That was the frosting on the cake. Steve Cawthon, who never even said, you know. He never said anything. Other than hello and goodbye and where's my check, and that was about it. Where's my 10% or whatever. But and, of course, we know that all young people were just starstruck by Stevie Cawthon. You could go up and down to Broward Mall right now, and kids would say, "Oh, Steve Cawthon." They would swoon. They'd fall on the floor just by the mention of the name. And God forbid you should mention Cash Asmussen, they'd go nuts. And you don't even know who that is.
No, I do.
No, that's good.
Not a clue.
I know who it is.
Not a clue. Are you going to tell us?
It's a jockey
Oh. Yeah.
who also went to England.
Okay.
He was too good-looking to ride in America. They sent all the good-looking jockeys to England. I don't know how Cawthon got over there. Well, you know, those English, they need optometrists, like Angie Dickinson.
The seldom-reticent.
Isn't that great? Boy, I made the Herald again today. I'm going to go home and write it in my diarrhea.
You ridiculed the Herald.
Yeah.
And you
Shame on you, Neil.
Yeah.
Ridiculed the prestigious Miami Herald with all those Pulitzer Prizes.
Sort of leads into my story about the Herald.
In fact, they're up, well, I don't think yet. They're up for a Pulitzer Prize for yellow journalism. Is that great? The Herald, the Daily News, and the Inquirer are battling it out to see who can win the Pulitzer Prize's Yellow Ribbon Award.
So while you light that cigar, I'll tell this story.
That's what you think. We have another break, and we could do it at any moment now. We could talk about Ahmed. We could talk about Gulfstream with Joe Namath. I might do the spot myself. Hey, by the way, tomorrow's the 24th. Tomorrow is that big jackpot day, you know, for the Sunday thing that they've been doing, the drawing.
Yeah, the spring break thing with, I saw the ad. In
Spring break?
Something tied in with spring break. Aren't they going to have Frankie Avalon and, aren't they going to be
They've
there?
already done that.
Oh, they already did that?
They may be there again, but I mean, they've already done that.
I saw
no
ad.
interest. No interest.
No, I didn't think so.
Nobody is. In fact,
No.
that was going to be the big thing that brought everybody back to Fort Lauderdale. Now,
No.
the real reason I want to go out there today is because we ran a spot on Monday, and I believe in truth in advertising, just like the ad in the Herald, and it said, no, really, it said, see and bet the Preakness this Saturday at Gulfstream. So I've already taken all the money in the world that I've got, and I'm plunging on Ali Sheedy.
Ali Sheedy, yeah.
Ali Sheedy, yeah.
So,
And I may bet a few perfectas with Ali Sheba and bet twice, 6-1. Those numbers just keep running through my head. I just keep seeing those black-eyed Susans. I once knew a black-eyed Susan. Susan Day, she was on the Partridge Family. Do you remember her?
yeah, she's on L.A. Law now.
Yeah, she's always beat up. You know, she's always one of those abused young women.
Not anymore.
David Cassidy beat the hell out of her.
Yeah, now she's a lawyer.
Oh, is she really? Oh, I don't watch that show.
You
LA
should,
Law.
now that Knots Landing's in reruns. If you want to see the real sex on TV.
You know, I hate to break the news to you. I don't watch those network shows, okay?
But this is
I don't watch them.
special.
Like, last night I was home for just a few minutes.
Do you
I watched
think-
the hockey game and the Mets game.
Do you think I would lead
I'm into
you
sports.
astray? Do you think I'd lead
I'm
you
into
astray?
sports.
Trust
I'm
me.
macho, okay? I'm into sports. I watched a little bit of the hockey game. In fact, I did see Edmonton score their first goal. Messier scored on a breakaway. That was great. Right between Hextall's legs, if you pardon the expression, man. That was great on a breakaway. And I left the house feeling confident that Edmonton would win. What do
Yeah.
I know?
Mhm.
How would I know the game was fixed? I mean, who else could give up 5 goals in the last part of the game? I mean, that's ridiculous. Ludicrous. But then you're not into hockey. You wouldn't know anything about that.
Nothing.
Zero?
Zilch. Something about a puck. That's all I know.
Uh-huh.
And the goalie wears a mask that looks like Jason in Friday the 13th
Exactly.
movies.
No, the goalie is Jason from Friday the 13th. That's why he gave up 5 goals in the last period. Okay, we have another break to do. Then Glenn's maybe going to work into that story about the Herald, which I know is going to be exciting. I'm going to reread, for the benefit of the audience that's just getting up now and tuning in, I'm going to reread several times that story from this morning's business news section, because most people don't read the business section anyway unless they got money,
No
and that
way.
leaves our audience out.
Absolutely.
It's only Marshall Moore that's got the people with money, and they're so damn cheap, man. Marshall, you ought to be embarrassed. You do a great show, but your audience doesn't appreciate you. All they want you to do is give and give and give to them.
I've got 7,000 shares of Con Edison.
You know, who cares, lady? Put it where the moon don't shine, baby. We don't care about your Con Edison. It's true, though. They're a bunch of cheapskates that tune in the show. That's why they got all the money. They have the first 2 nickels they ever made. They sit there rubbing them together all day, which is all they've got. 10 minutes before 11 at WINZ. We're going to come back right after these important messages. You know, in all fairness, I think the ad team should have done that spot for Gulfstream with the instant bankroll sweepstakes being given away. Can you hear Russ doing it now? $10,000! Wouldn't that be great? That would be how it would sound, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's a guy who has made millions.
Millions. Yeah.
From what? I mean, that's the incredible part, and I think it's great. He's a great American.
We used to be disc jockeys together, Russ and I. We used to work together on the old
and look at the difference.
The old boy.
You're just barely eking out a meager existence,
Right.
just barely.
And he's a millionaire.
Clinging, hanging on. And the man is a multi-millionaire.
He did us a very nice favor, though.
Yes, he did. They've been great with us.
They've been terrific. They did the newspaper ads for So Far.
Yeah.
They'd made great ads.
You bet.
They donated their services. Super. Absolutely terrific. And they've worked with us, and they've been great. And I really would like to publicly thank them. I've
already thanked him.
Good.
But he's got millions of dollars anyway, so
True.
why not, right?
It's true.
In fact, he ought to be buying the ads for us. Only kidding, Russ. Come on, only kidding.
No, right, we are.
He's got a good sense of humor.
Yeah,
He doesn't like the Herald too well, by the way.
Hates the Herald.
Hates the Herald.
He was so happy about your campaign. He mentioned it to me. And
why is it that so many people hate the Herald? I mean, people who really have an IQ of over 10 hate the Herald. I mean, despise it.
True.
Oh, I mean, really, there are people who don't like the New York Times, but they generally tend to be those right-wing lunatics, think the Times is a communist newspaper, okay? That's philosophy. There are people who don't like the Washington Post for the same reason. There are people who don't like the Chicago Tribune because it's too conservative. But again, that has to do with philosophy. But there are people who hate the Herald just on principle.
I know.
Right?
I know.
Because the Herald once upon a time was a lot more liberal than it is now. I mean, now it's basically a fascist newspaper, but once upon a time it was a moderate newspaper. The News was the liberal paper in Dade, and the Herald was like kind of moderate.
Mm-hmm.
Like they might endorse, the Nazi Party, things like that. But now they've gone way beyond that. But there are a lot of people, philosophy aside, who just despise the Herald.
Yeah, they do.
Who would like to see Don Johnson go into, One Herald Plaza and plant a bomb, and speed off and look in the rearview mirror, watch, boom, just the whole thing blow up into the bay.
It's true. I found it out just
It is.
recently, yeah.
In fact, when we come back from the news, Glenn is going to tell us his Herald story.
I got to wait till after the news.
Yeah. Well, big build-up. Hey, we have to build these numbers here, we've got to build to, about a 10 share so that she doesn't sell the station. Only kidding, Mrs. Hawley. Boy, that was great. She came in here with that dog the other day.
Mac.
Mac?
Big Mac.
Leave it to Glenn to find out the name of the dog. I guess it must be all of that time that you spent as the, what was the title?